Not very long ago I made a video about why you shouldn't watch red pill content, and you can actually watch it here. And when I was making that video I had to look for the most ridiculous red pill videos that I could put either in the video or in the thumbnail. So the videos with the most ridiculous titles and thumbnails. And as a result of that, now I got all of the shit recommended on the daily, and I got this video recommended, which is titled Things You Should Never Do for a Woman. And as you can see, the thumbnail is poppin'. This channel literally has thumbnails like this all the time. Honestly, maybe I should do that as well. But yeah, I saw the thumbnail, I was like, what the fuck? And I saw the title and I was like, actually I'm kind of curious about what they have to say. And while the representation is terrible, this is literally one of the cringiest videos that I've ever seen. At the same time, it's actually really good because the advice makes sense, but most of it, almost all of it, is not even dating advice, it's actually life advice. And that's why I want to watch this together. And I mean, this is not a reaction video, technically I'm just going to add my thoughts. So let's see the video.
What you're about to hear may shock you.
I'm going to put it on 1.5 speed.
Mutually fulfilling relationships.
Maybe 1.75 actually, because this is so slow. This is just bullshit. We're not going to look at the whole thing because there's a lot of stuff that we don't need to look at. So I'm just going to skip the non-essential parts. What the fuck is on the wall?
This advice is not about disrespecting or mistreating women in any way. It's quite the opposite. By avoiding these 11 critical mistakes, you'll be able to connect with women on a deeper level, earn her genuine interest and attraction, and build relationships based on understanding and respect. So if you're ready, let's count down the 11 things you should never ever do for a woman. Number 11. Never put her on a pedestal. It's easy to look at an attractive woman and imagine she's perfect, a goddess, an angel, a princess. But when you worship a woman by constantly complimenting her, professing your undying devotion, and acting like you'll do anything for her approval, it never inspires admiration. It actually kills her attraction and respect for you. Why? On a deep evolutionary level.
Okay, so we're not gonna get into the explanation because it's completely pointless. I don't give a shit about the evolutionary whatever, but I do agree with this advice. This basically just shows that you're not a secure person, that you're not a secure guy. You don't believe that if you won't get her, then you could get another girl or whatever. And one very big reason why this sucks is because people tend to date upwards, in my opinion. Or at least people tend to want to date upwards. So you always hear like, yeah, she's not in my league, whatever. Yeah, obviously you're going to want someone good, someone that you may even deem better than you, because that's how you can get better. That's how the other person can pull you up, and people don't want to date somebody who they feel like is below them. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're putting yourself below when you're putting somebody on a pedestal, which is completely meaningless, because nobody wants that. Nobody wants a worse person than them. And even if you're not worse, if you're trying to advertise that you're worse, it's already enough. And the truth is, being loudly insecure is just simply so unhot. Like, and this goes both ways actually. It doesn't matter if a guy does it or a girl does it. If somebody is saying like self-deprecating jokes about himself or herself all the time and trying to like praise you and say that you're the shit, you're going to feel really weird, and it's just so unattractive. What you can do instead is be a little bit like teasing, playful. You can try to make like jokes about the other person, but I don't mean like really like shitty, offensive jokes. I don't mean like, oh yeah, you want to go to law school? Aren't you too dumb for that? That's not teasing or being playful, that's just being an asshole. But let's move on to the second one, and I actually
women are wired to seek strong,
forgot
to by fawning over a woman and elevating her to a realistic pedestal.
We're not going to look at this.
Neediness and weakness. You set the frame that she is the prize. Her, but do so from a place of balance and strength. Never worship her so loudly that you drown out your own inner worth and value.
Agreed. So you should give compliments and shit, but this is simply so much wishy-washy talk. Like, you should do it from a place of balance and strength and shit. Just the only point is, don't put yourself down, but don't put the other person up either too much. But don't think like, oh, so giving a compliment is being a simp. No.
Standing tall on your own foundation.
Okay.
Embracing your mission and purpose apart from her.
Jesus, this fucking thumbnail
inspires her to earn your commitment, not the other way around. Number 10. Never agree with everything she says. As tempting as it is to nod along with her every opinion when you're infatuated, this kills authentic communication. Healthy relationships involve open, honest exchanges from both partners, not just blind agreement. So why stifle real intimacy by holding back your true perspectives?
Okay, it goes into the wishy-washy talk again. Don't be a yes man. Yeah, I 100% agree. And here you can already see that this is life advice. This is not dating advice. You shouldn't be a yes man, not only with your girl, but with anybody. You should have your own opinions and you should stand by them. And if somebody challenges them, you need to stand up for yourself. And you can't just change your opinions all the time because you have to be politically correct and all that shit. Except, I mean, you kind of have to learn to balance the things out, because for example, if there's a teacher that's a complete idiot, but you want to be a doctor and she can literally fuck up your dreams with a draw of a pencil, then obviously if the teacher says some stupid shit, you don't need to react. You don't need to be like, no, actually. And yeah, like getting into meaningless arguments is completely pointless, obviously. But yeah, and also this goes both ways in terms of, it's not only a yes man that's shitty, a yes woman is also shitty. Would you like somebody who agrees with you on everything? I mean, probably a lot of guys would like a girl like that, but what's the point? If you don't want the other person to have her own thoughts, then why don't you just fucking date a robot that you can program the way you want?
That old trope of happy wife, happy life has it backwards. Research shows couples who communicate freely and challenge each other respectfully enjoy deeper bonds and satisfaction. See, women crave an emotionally strong man who knows himself deeply. When you echo her views like a yes man, you cheat her of understanding you on a core level. She can't fully trust feelings that aren't anchored to your real beliefs and boundaries. And on a visceral level, your inability to disagree flags you as an emasculated, nice guy. Not the masculine mate her instincts seek. Like the pedestal, too much acquiescence inadvertently repels her over time. So speak up. Debate and disagreement, handled maturely, builds authentic intimacy. Don't confuse blind loyalty with love. Help.
Yeah, an important thing is handled with maturity. So don't fight, have meaningless disagreements, but if you don't agree on something and you cannot discuss it, then there's no point in talking about it. There's no point in fighting over something. You can be like, hey, this is what I think about this topic. Hey, this is what I think about this topic. And then you just talk about it. But like, please don't fight over it. That doesn't make any sense. And also, a reason why you shouldn't be a yes man is because any person that wants a yes man, because there are people that want a yes man, every person that wants a yes man fucking sucks and you don't want them. So if you give your authentic self and they don't like that, that's fine. You didn't want them anyways.
Create true understanding between you by sharing yourself fully and honestly. The biggest relationship mistakes are still ahead. Stay tuned. Number 9. Never hide your masculine essence from a woman. As our forefathers knew, women profoundly desire men rooted in their primal masculine energy. But modern society often conditions men to cloud this radiance for fear of offense. Don't make this mistake. Neutering your perspective and decisiveness in a misguided attempt to be sensitive profoundly backfires. Like number 10, you deny a woman the gift of feeling your true strong self. So stand tall in your warrior energy. Speak from the heart with conviction. Yes, even disagree and debate her at times. Be decisive and own your preferences instead of passively deferring. Face adversity and conflict head on rather than flee. This channels the primal masculine life force energy that ignites feminine arousal and attraction. By courage.
There's so many. Jesus Christ, these words are just. This is amazing. This is why I said that.
Polarizing differences and
this is so cringe, but it's also so good at the same time. But this one.
Mistakes may be hard truths to hear, but they're so important. Number 8. Never overtext a woman.
I honestly have no idea what the fuck this means, so I'm not even gonna talk about it. This is some next level shit, like some primal masculine energy, feminine essence, whatever. Ugh. Number 8.
Especially early on. In our digital age, texting often feels like the easiest way to advance a budding connection. But when you text excessively or make yourself too available, it reeks of desperation, the ultimate attraction killer. See, women intrinsically value men of purpose and intrigue who stand apart from the crowd. But men who text constantly, reply instantly, and rush to lock down future plans signal they have nothing better going on than to hover around her digital presence. She begins to associate you with feelings of annoyance rather than excitement. You become.
So this is the type of advice that is a double-edged sword and a lot of people misinterpret it, and that's the reason why I don't like red pill videos, because you get this a lot. You get this like, don't overtext. And then guys are gonna be like, well, okay, so I get a text from her and I'm going to wait at least 3 hours to text back. No, that doesn't make any sense.
The bothersome nice guy blowing up her phone, not the mysterious stud tickling her curiosity. Even if she entertains the attention at first, she'll quickly tire of mundane conversations leeching her energy. So play some hard to get. Don't anxiously pounce on replies or obsess over crafting clever texts. Limit yourself to setting dates leading to real-world intimacy. Your purposeful restraint builds desire and intrigue, much more than...
And this is what you always get in these fucking red pill videos, that you should only use texting for setting up dates. Well, guess what? That doesn't fucking work in the real world. That will also depend on your age, obviously. So if you're like 15 years old, which if you're watching this video, unironically, you probably are, then in most places girls will want to text you a fuck ton before actually meeting up, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, the reason why this doesn't work is because, okay, let's say you met somebody on Friday, asked for her Instagram or Snapchat, wrote a text, instantly asked her on a date, and most ideal scenario, she said yes, and she said, okay, it's gonna go down on Monday. And then are you gonna be like, okay, see you on Monday, and then like not talk at all on Saturday and Sunday? I mean, if you want to do that, okay, but it's just, most people will find that really weird. And then playing hard to get, this says, play hard to get a little bit. No, don't play hard to get, okay? Intentionally barely texting somebody is bullshit. The only thing it does is that it makes communication impossible. That doesn't do anything good. And also, I'm not gonna pretend that like women biologically have some sort of sense, like some sixth sense built into them that tells them when you're actually busy and when you're just faking it. But this is exactly where this advice gets misinterpreted. You shouldn't play busy, you shouldn't play hard to get. You should be busy. You should be, not necessarily saying hard to get, but you shouldn't be super easy to get, yeah. And so what you want is not get a text, see that you got a text, but you're like, no, I'm not gonna read it because I don't want to answer yet, because I can only answer after an hour because I'm playing busy. No, you wanna have shit going on in your life. You wanna have time periods where you're not going to think about it. Like when I go to the gym, I don't reply to fucking nobody. Or when I'm recording videos, when I'm editing videos, when I'm doing any YouTube work, I'm in the zone, okay? I'm doing it 100%. I'm focused. I'm not talking with other people. I'm not replying if somebody sends a text to me. I actually am not even going to see it because I'm always in do not disturb mode when I'm doing stuff like that. But when I actually have time, I'm not doing anything, and I know that I can text back. I will. I will all the time. If I'm texting with a girl and she sends me a text and I instantly actually see it and I'm not doing anything else, I'm actually going to look at it, read it instantly and just reply. And as you can see, this is also life advice. You have to have, I'm not necessarily saying an interesting life, because that's also what the red pill content creators say all the time, like you need to have an interesting life. Guess what? My life isn't fucking interesting. I go to work, I go to the gym, I get back home and I make videos. But I still cannot reply for most of the day because I spend most of my day doing meaningless shit. And so the difference is that when somebody asks me why I didn't reply in like 2 hours or something, I'm gonna, like, I can tell them like, hey, I was reading, or I was at work, or I was training, I was focused, or I was making a video. But what can you say? Yeah, actually I was so focused on scrolling TikTok. Fuck no. That's the whole point. Don't put on an act that you're like a high quality person. Be one.
Dependence ever could. Stay tuned, gents. The last few mistakes will separate the men from the boys when it comes to dating success. Number 7. Never validate a woman excessively, especially with superficial compliments on her appearance. Doing so raises the same red flags as the previous mistakes. It screams emotional weakness and approval.
We're not going to look at this because this is pretty much the same as the first one. The only difference is this says don't over compliment her looks, and yeah, like don't tell her like 5 times a day like, oh my god, you're so pretty. Just like maybe when you meet for the first time that day and you see her in some new pants or something and you like it, just say like, you look good in the pants. It's not rocket science.
Number 6. Never let a woman walk all over you. As tempting as it is to avoid rocking the boat, allowing bad behavior slides down a slippery slope to getting utterly disrespected. And nothing erodes a woman's attraction more than seeing her partner as a doormat. You see, women inherently crave men with healthy boundaries who'll stand up for themselves. The masculine spirit knows when to draw lines firmly and say, no more. But
yeah, I agree. And this is also life advice. You should draw boundaries and you should make people respect them, okay? If somebody tries to like walk all over you, don't let them do it. One thing though is don't expect people to know your boundaries, okay? So let's say you've got a new girlfriend and she crosses a boundary that you have never talked about before. You just go, hey, I don't like when you do this, please don't do it again. And then if she does it again, like depending on the severity, you can be like, okay, fuck off. Or you can be like, I told you to please not do this. And then if she does it again and again and again, just fucking leave, bro. And again, you should do this with everybody. Now, I just want to say 2 examples that are boundaries of mine that come to mind. One is talking bad to each other, and I take that really seriously. Like if I start dating a new girl and she says like fuck off or fuck you to me, and I mean like seriously, like obviously if you're joking or something it doesn't matter, I'm just going to say never talk to me like that again. And for me this is a very strict one. So if somebody does it again after I told them to not do it, then they can fuck off because nobody's gonna talk to me like a dog. And another boundary is not respecting my time. So for an example, if you schedule a date and I plan accordingly and then like 2 hours before the girl is like, well actually it's not gonna be good, I'm gonna be like, okay, but I was planning for this, so please try to respect that. And the next time when something comes up, if you know about it sooner, please tell me about it sooner. And also if you already made a commitment and you said that we would meet at 5 at, I don't know, this restaurant, then like unless something actually important comes up, try to stick to it. Because if somebody tells me like, yeah, I know we talked about today 5 o'clock, but I'm tired, I'm gonna be like, are you fucking serious? But this is a little bit of a looser boundary for me. It's not as strict as the talking bad, because I do realize that life can be unpredictable and things can come up, and maybe you actually deschedule the event, not because you don't respect my time or anything, but because something actually came up. So I'm not as serious about this one. But if somebody does this to me like 5 times, I'm gonna be like, you're starting to get near the line.
Number 5. Never ignore red flags or tolerate intolerable behavior just to be with someone. When infatuation blindness sets in, it's easy to...
Okay, number 5 is literally the same as number 6, so we're not gonna look at it.
Dismissing even deal-breaking issues as... Number 4. Never rush prematurely into commitments with a woman. Early relationship energy can feel so intoxicating that labeling each other as boyfriend-girlfriend feels like the next logical step. But patience is instrumental in building bonds that endure. When you declare commitment too soon, you pressure delicate intimacy that requires time and space to unfold organically. Getting overly attached or pushing for definitions backfires. It conveys clinginess rather than the self-assuredness women crave. See.
Yeah, I agree with this, and I gotta admit that like I was a little bit guilty of this in the past too, but I'm trying to not be guilty of it the next time. But one reason why this really sucks is because, first of all, you're doing this out of insecurity. You're doing this, I know, because I was doing this as well. And I know why I was doing this. I was doing this because I was afraid that one day, like, the girl would just wake up and think like, actually, no. Because it does happen pretty often, but this is not the solution, okay? If you're doing this, you can get into shitty relationships that you could have actually avoided, and you're going to just waste your time, because the truth is, it's been scientifically proven that we tend to value the things that we already have more. And while obviously I'm not trying to advocate that you're owning your partner, but if you've been dating somebody for 3 weeks and you realize that you're actually not that good of a match, you can just say like, sorry, I just don't think we would be good together. Or sometimes you can just simply not schedule another date, and then she won't want to schedule another date either. And yeah, it's just dumb. But if you're already in a relationship, let's say, same scenario, 3 weeks passed, after 1 week you got together, and after 2 weeks of being together, you realize that actually this is not working. But now you're like, I mean, we've only been together for 2 weeks, and maybe I should give this another chance. And also, I mean, I at least got somebody, I don't want to be alone. And then you're going to overthink it, and you're going to stay in it for much longer than you should have been.
Feminine energy flows towards strong masculine essence that moves slowly, deliberately, and sticks to its principles. But needy energy grabs desperately at fleeting affection that then slips through frantic fingers. So calm those urges to lock her down into a relationship. Let trusts and connections establish roots over time through shared vulnerability. Allow her feminine desire to blossom and chase your purposeful masculine energy. If it helps, casually date other women so you don't become consumed by scarcity fears. Trust that if it's meant to progress into something serious, you need not force that destiny prematurely. Patience pays exponential dividends down the road. Now pay very close attention, fellas. To a relationship, let trusts and connections establish roots over time through shared vulnerability. Allow her feminine desire to blossom and chase your purposeful masculine energy. If it helps, casually date other women so you don't become consumed by scarcity fears. Trust.
I think that's kind of bullshit, though. I didn't even notice this comment before. Please don't try to casually date others just to calm your insecurities.
Number 3. Never lose focus of your mission and purpose over a romantic interest. When Cupid's spell binds you, it's tempting to obsess over your lover and neglect self-growth. But retaining purpose beyond the relationship proves foundational. Why? Women respect men on the rise putting themselves first, not drops in the bucket living for others. Her hindbrain questions whether you'd stand tall without her support if you abandon your ambition so easily. See? Women are drawn to men who align words with action, marching toward a vision greater than temporary affection.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and this is also life advice, and this is also life advice that I followed before, and it was a very fucking good decision. You have only one life to pursue your dreams, and in this earth there are like 8 billion people. So if things didn't work out solely because you decided to pursue your dream instead of being with a girl, then don't worry, you'll just find another one. Also, people who have a clear vision and people who have dreams and actually decide to pursue them, usually people will respect you for that. And respect is very important in every relationship, especially a romantic one. And a good person who is good for you and who really likes you for who you are is not going to challenge your dreams. Okay, in a healthy relationship, you shouldn't choose between your girl and your dreams. And if somebody wants to make you choose, that person sucks. Choose your dream and abandon them. Like, fucking just go from them, because they don't want the best for you. And I do actually have experience with this, because I already know, even before going to high school, that I wouldn't want to stay in the country that I was born in. And in the very first year of high school, which is 9th grade, where I used to live, and you have 12 grades total, so it's like high school is 4 years long. And in the very beginning of my very first year, I already decided that right after I graduate, I'm gonna move out and I'm gonna move to a different country. And right before my last year started in school, I met a girl, and then we ended up being together for a little bit less than a year and a half. It was, I think, a year and 4 months or something. And I never even thought about staying at home, and I never even told her that I would. Like, literally from day one of meeting each other, I was like, you know, actually my dream is to move out after like less than a year. And I told her right away from day one that in June I'm gonna graduate and I'm fucking gone. And she accepted that, she respected that, she didn't try to get in the way of my dreams. She was actually supporting me in achieving them. And when the time came, I kept my promise and I moved out, even though we were still together. And after that, we ended up breaking up, yes, but it wasn't because of the distance. And honestly, I have no regrets, and if I could go back, I wouldn't change anything. I'm very happy that I'm here. And I believe that if two people truly, strongly, like really want each other, there's nothing that can go in the way of that. And we could have survived the distance if we wanted to for several years before she would move to me. We just decided that it's gonna be better for both of us if we don't. And since we ended up breaking up anyways, we ended up not working well together at the end. If I would have stayed in my birth country just because of her, right now I would fucking hate myself. So, number 10.
Number 2, never neglect close friendships and family over a girlfriend. When you first fall for someone, it's tempting to channel all your energy into that one bond. But losing yourself in a romantic relationship often backfires. Independent men who retain priority friendships and family commitments attract women tremendously. Why? Firstly, it signals invaluable social proof that you're worthwhile relationship material respected by those close to you. But more importantly, refusing to compromise your deepest bonds demonstrates high self-worth. You broadcast unwavering standards. Any partner must complement your whole life, not commandeer it. This strength of conviction can't be faked. It either arises from a place of security or crumbles from neediness. See? Healthy feminine energy respects masculine borders and finds freedom within appropriate structure.
Yeah, so you do need a support network that usually includes family and friends. If you don't have any friends, you don't talk with your family, and the only one most important person to you is your partner and there's nobody else in your life, it's really going to suck when something happens and maybe they leave, or maybe life just comes in the way, I don't know. And so if the bros are inviting you to go play basketball with them or something, go. Even if you actually don't really want to go, you would rather be with your girlfriend, especially in the very early stages of the relationship. If that happens and you feel that, that's your sign to go. You're going to be very grateful for your past self in the future, and even if the girl never leaves you and you end up being happily married together and then living all of your life together, even then you will still need friends in life. And the thing is, if you get together with somebody and then you just start ignoring everybody because you want to spend all of your time with that single person, after that it's going to be very hard and sometimes even impossible to reconnect. Like, man, if you ignore your friends, they will take up on that. And there's nothing more, I don't want to say cringe, but I don't know how to explain, like, there's nothing shittier than seeing one of your friends in your friend group never going to like group meetings together again. That sounded like some fucking business meeting or something. No, I meant like the guy is never coming to play basketball with you again, he's never coming to play bowling, he's never coming to, like, I don't know, go out and drink a beer or anything. Also, this is what you do when you play hard to get. You don't play hard to get. You're not hard to get, but you go out with your friends and you spend time with them and you don't dedicate your entire life to just one person. And if somebody doesn't understand that you should have a life also outside of them, then well, fuck that person. One exception is if you already have plans. So if you, for example, already planned a date and then your friends invite you at the same time to do something together, don't be a douchebag, just go to the date. Or actually, you can even ask your girlfriend, like, hey, my friends invited me, I really want to see them, we don't meet very often, and can we just put the date to the day after? And be understanding. If she says no, say, okay, then we're going this day. And then if she says yes, you just say, thank you. And then you reschedule the date and then you actually go at that time. But very important, don't signal to a girl that she's lost priority. She shouldn't be lost priority. So let her know she isn't. But again, what I usually do is if somebody invites me and like I actually want to go, even if sometimes I don't want to go, but it's friends that I want to like keep my relationship up with for the future, 90% of the time I'm going to prioritize that, but I will let my girlfriend know that she does have a saying in that. And then if one day she just wants to be together with me and she doesn't want me to go, if she can just say it, and I'm gonna be like, okay, no problem. And obviously anybody who tries to tear you away from your family or your friends fucking sucks. One exception is if you have like a toxic family, for an example, and they do see you suffer and they tell you like, you know that you actually don't have to talk with them, right? But that's quite the opposite of trying to tear you away from your family. That's just letting you know that, you know, like if they don't treat you right, you don't need to be available for them, and that's a healthy thing to do for the other person.
Values or well-being for a woman. When infatuation sets in, you may feel tempted to transgress boundaries or tolerate mistreatment just to keep her content. But the strongest relationships allow both partners to walk their truth unapologetically. If a woman truly cares for you, she'll support your non-negotiable standards because she wants what's best.
Basically, all of what this says is just, this is kind of the one tip that could be like just a summary of the whole video, which is be yourself unapologetically and don't let others change you. And that includes everybody. That includes girls, guys, friends, family, teachers, bosses. Don't let any of these people get you away from your dream or any of that shit. Stand up for yourself. And the very, very important thing is all of this should go both ways, both in a relationship and with friends, family, everybody. You can have your boundaries and everything, but also expect other people to have theirs as well. Don't be a hypocrite. For example, back to the bad talking. If a girl that I'm dating says fuck you or fuck off or anything like that to me, I'm going to tell her to never say that to me again, and the next time she's gonna say anything like that, I'm gonna be like, there is the door. But I am obviously also not going to talk to her like that, and if I do and she challenges me on that, I will accept that. And that's very important, because if these things are not mutual, in reality, you're just a controlling manipulator. If you're trying to pursue your own dream, but when your girl tries to do that too, you're like, nah. You cannot go to this country or that country, you have to stay here with me. Then you're a fucking controlling hypocrite. And also, like, if you go out every single time with your friends when they invite you, also expect your partner to do the same when, for example, her friends call her. And with all this said, I hope you see what I meant by saying that this is not dating advice, this is life advice. All of this literally just confirms what I think, which is that watching all of the stupid red pill videos it's complete bullshit and it's not necessary. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is what kind of person you are. And all of these tips, except maybe the texting one that's a little bit mixed, but all of these tips except that were not tips about like, oh, how to text a girl, how to talk with a girl, blah, blah, blah. It was like, what type of person to be. And that is what is actually important, and that's what you should focus on. But you should be this strong individual, not just for the sake of getting a girl or something, but just for the sake of being a strong individual, for the sake of being somebody who cannot be taken off his path. And that concludes this video. Watch this video next where I talk about why you're actually sabotaging yourself, and it's not even dieting that's hard, it's actually you who is making dieting really hard. Peace.